Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from RicoScores, keeping the momentum going, first of all. Coming out with a big Redskins report today. Hopefully it's not too long at the beginning of this recording. As of right now, I feel like it's not going to be long, but I've said this at the beginning of videos thinking it was going to be 5 minutes. It ends up being 20 minutes by the time I'm done talking. So right now I'm just inferring that it's going to be a relatively short video, but we'll see. Several things to talk about, to touch on real quick. Nothing real deep. I'm going to start with the thing I'm most excited about first. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get it. Alright, so first of all, there's some growing sense around the front office that Rivera might soon anoint Kyle as general manager. Yes, sir, my boy done made it. Go ahead and give him the crown, Rivera. That man did his thing these past few days. Those first 4 picks were all home runs. Getting Thaddeus Moss, an undrafted free agent, is a home run. The other guys I'm gonna have to look deeper into. I can't grade those guys yet because I'm not sure exactly how good they could be or how bad they could be. They're all still relatively mysterious to me, so I can't judge those late round picks, the 2/5 and the 2/7 yet. But I know that we super put in work those first 4 rounds, and our undrafted free agent class is pretty tough too. So go ahead and get that man the crown, man. He's been doing this thing for the past few years, not even just the past few days. That man Kyle Smith last year, Terry McLaurin in the 3rd, Kelvin Harmon in the 6th, Jimmy Moreland in the 7th, Cole Holcomb in the 5th, Wes Martin late in the draft. I love the fact that we brought over Emmanuel Hall later on in the season last year. This guy definitely has an eye for talent. And this was his first season really taking on free agency along with the whole draft process and college scouting. And I feel like he's done a pretty good job there too, especially with the cap space we had available. So I'm expecting big things out of him next season when we have top 3 cap space. So yeah, man, Ron Rivera, go ahead and crown the man. The man's been putting in work. I like his potential as GM. He's shown that he can handle this and that, this and that, this and that. Go ahead and give him the full plate. I trust Kyle Smith. I mean, the fact that with those last 4 picks, I don't even really know who those guys are. And I'm like, well, in Kyle Smith we trust. I mean, he already has that trust amongst most of the fan base. So it would be weird for you not to even give him the GM job at this point. But the thing I like most about the tweet from Les Carpenter is that it says Rivera might soon anoint Kyle Smith as GM. So it's a might soon. It sounds like it's inevitable, but the might comes in from how soon it will happen. So I'm optimistic that he will get the GM job. Go ahead and do that, Ron Rivera. See what happens next year when we have top 3 cap space. Let this man work. Free agency and the draft. Whole new set of picks, all of that. Looking forward to seeing the 2020 and 2021 Kyle Smith GM term and era, really. It's a whole new era. Now, speaking of cap space, after trading Trent Williams, the Redskins have the 2nd most cap space in the NFL with roughly $35 million available. So at this point, there's plenty of money to restructure Brandon Scherff. Go ahead and get it done. I definitely want them to restructure / extend Ryan Kerrigan so he's not $11.5 million this year. They can spread it out to being like maybe $4 million a year for the next 2-3 years. I would really want that done. But more importantly, I want them to go ahead and get the Brandon Scherff extension done. They have till late July to do it because after then, they're not allowed to extend them until after the 2020 season is over. And then that's when he becomes an unrestricted free agent again, and then we may end up having to tag him again. So just go ahead and extend this man before late July and get it done. Sure up that right guard position for many years to come, at least the next 4 or 5. As long as he can stay healthy, he definitely deserves it. Also, involving that cap space, that means there's more money to go look in the free agency to fill up some of those holes we still kind of have. You might want to go look at another tight end, maybe. There's Delaney Walker out there. You may want to go look at another corner, maybe. Duquise Denard is still out there. I know a lot of y'all like Logan Ryan. I'm not really a big fan, but you know what I'm saying? We have money to go get some of these guys. Maybe a receiver, maybe some more offensive line depth, especially somebody like a Jason Peters. And speaking of Jason Peters, it's been reported that Jason Peters is pitching to teams that he can join a team as a bridge gap tackle, which is typically a term only used for quarterbacks, but he can actually be that. At 38 years old, he could be the best tackle on this team, possibly production-wise, but just don't expect him to be here long-term. So while we get Sadiq Charles or Cornelius Lucas up to par, we can start Jason Peters at left tackle and depend on him to protect Dwayne Haskins' blind side at a high level temporarily while Sadiq Charles gets like a year or two to be ready to become a Pro Bowl tackle right out the gate. We don't have to throw him out there to the wolves. We'll see though, it just depends on how much money Peters is asking for. But he's been to several Pro Bowls. He's very talented, and even at 38 years old, he's still definitely a starting caliber tackle. Definitely an above average starting caliber tackle in the NFL level. He won't be Trent Williams, but he'll be better than Donald Penn, who wasn't that bad last season, honestly. So I like the idea of bridge players while we get a lot of these young guys up to par and ready to go. But I also like how we're allowing some of the young players in other position groups to go ahead and duke it out and get real experience, real meaningful snaps, and real games so they can go ahead and mature sooner. But at the same time, I do like the idea of getting Jason Peters to make sure Dwayne Haskins' blind side is not being protected by somebody we're trying to train on the go. That's just too vital of a position to just be playing around with. You can get Dwayne Haskins killed out here. So definitely, I would love to go get Jason Peters, especially now that his market value may have decreased mightily after the draft with all of the teams taking so many tackles, including us. We took a tackle, so we could present to him in the negotiation room that we don't really need you. We would like to have you, but we have Sadiq Charles who really is ready to go week 1. And Cornelius Lucas is an upgrade over Ty Nsekhe as a swing tackle, so really he could start at right tackle if he wanted to. But if for some reason Morgan Moses is starting at right tackle, then Cornelius Lucas can start at left tackle. So we really don't need Jason Peters. We should be able to get him for cheaper than what he's been asking for lately. And I would be ecstatic to sign Jason Peters at this point on a 1 to 2 year deal. Go ahead and make that happen, Redskins. But whoever ends up starting is going to have to go against Chase Young and/or Montez Sweat every day in practice. So good luck with that one. Speaking of Chase Young with a plus 200 reportedly has the highest odds of winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, and that's followed by Isaiah Simmons with plus 500. So it seems to be like Chase Young is the easy favorite, unanimous favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm definitely expecting that out of him. I'm expecting a 12 sack season right out the gate, rookie year, and I'm expecting him to only get better and better throughout his career, and I'm expecting him to become the best edge rusher in the league at some point. And then over the course of his career, I'm expecting him to have a Hall of Fame career, best edge rusher in NFL history type of career. At least arguably, maybe not unanimously, but definitely arguably. There's never been a guy like Chase Young before. So this is just projected him to be that great, but even the greats coming out of college didn't look as promising as Chase Young does coming out of Ohio State. So we'll see. So since it looks like he pretty much almost definitely has Rookie of the Year wrapped up, especially with the impact he's going to have on this team, and we should have the best defensive line in football easily. He's going to be spearheading the whole movement, so that almost looks like an easy win, and that's kind of hard to say, but now I'm looking for him to win Defensive Player of the Year. That's what I'm looking for in his rookie year. That's what I want. Those are my expectations for him, and I want him to go meet those. And I love the fact that he's taking on any challenge that anybody's throwing at him. And Dan Snyder, please go holler at Bruce Smith. He extended his services to come in and coach up and mentor and tutor Chase Young and work on his technique and everything. That's the all-time sack leader in NFL history. Please bring him in. He offered his services. You didn't even have to ask him, so Dan Snyder, make that happen, man. Pay that man whatever he needs to be paid to get that done. So with Chase Young, we might end up getting Bruce Smith in the building to help coach the players. And with Thaddeus Moss, we might end up getting Randy Moss to help coach the receivers and tight ends. I love it. Those are two legends in the building. Bruce Smith, arguably the best pass rusher in NFL history. Statistically, he is. And Randy Moss, top 3 wide receiver, arguably the best wide receiver of all time in the building, help coach up our wide receivers. I love it. We're having great talent and great minds in the building. I love it. This is a new era of Redskins football. And now speaking of Chase Young, with him being so promising and our team turning around so quickly, you have Ron Rivera quote saying, "I think the turnaround can be a little bit quicker than expected. At least I expected." So Ron Rivera took this job immediately because he saw so much talent and potential in his roster and was like, I could truly turn this team into a Super Bowl winning team. But then after this draft and free agency, he said this rebuild might not take anywhere near as long as I thought it would. His plan was to build this team ready to go for a Super Bowl in like the next 3-4 years originally, but with the way Kyle Smith is drafting, our next GM, you feel me, go ahead and speak it into existence, and the way the front office is all together and the Coaching staff is all together, one mind. They may disagree on certain things, but they come to a common idea and a common goal, the one that's best for the team now and for the future. We're like a cohesive unit now. There's no arguing and petty beefs amongst the franchise. Everybody has the same common goal of making this team better, one step at a time. I mean, just the fact that Scott Turner loved Antonio Gibson. He wasn't even really Ron Rivera's guy. He was the guy that Scott Turner loved, and a few scouts on our team also. And Ron Rivera was like, well, this is my first draft for the Washington Redskins. I have to make a good impression. I'm going to take your word for it, give you this guy, see what you do with him. In the 3rd round too, not even like a late round pick, in the 3rd round. So you can see there with that pick that this organization has so much trust in each other. And I'm expecting big things out of them. So with all of that, on top of the talent that we're bringing in, and that we're coaching up and maturing, I'm expecting big things out of this team. And clearly Ron Rivera is also. This team just got way better in a quicker amount of time than even Ron Rivera expected when he wanted to take this job because of all the talent on the team. Can't wait to see what Jack Del Rio does with the defense. Can't wait to see what Scott Turner does with the offense and how Ron Rivera puts it all together. I'm excited. So Redskins Nation, get hyped, man. I love this draft. We may not be a Super Bowl team in 2020, but just stay patient. Our defense is going to wreck the league in 2020 off rip. So at least that's something to be excited about. We just have to wait for the offense to catch up. And we should definitely be going to some Super Bowls real soon. Just don't expect it in 2020. But 2021 and beyond, that's when you can start to have your high expectations. But in 2020, we'll give them a little taste of what we're talking about. And ESPN, Bleacher Report, NFL Network, Yahoo Sports, CBS, all of those guys will be on their toes and have the antennas up and aware that we're coming. So in 2020, give them a little taste of what we about to do in the future. And in 2021, actually execute it. I'm excited about the future of this Redskins franchise, y'all, if y'all can't tell. But yeah, man, that's the end of this Redskins report. Just wanted to talk about a few things. All of the recent news that have come out since the draft ended. I'm still working on my full draft recap, grade, and analysis where I'm breaking down each player's weaknesses and strengths and how I project them to be on the team, what impact they should have, how good they can be, even including undrafted free agents. So once I'm done doing film studies on all the guys that I don't really know about, then I can truly start working on the video and actually breaking down our draft and giving it a grade and all that type of stuff. That video might end up being 30 minutes to an hour, so go ahead and get ready for that. I'm trying to get it done by tomorrow, Monday, but it may take a little longer because I'm still watching film on the guys that we drafted. So I haven't even formulated an opinion on a lot of those guys yet, but I'll get there. I don't want to just spew out nonsense and just read what people have said on the internet about these guys. I want to actually go look at the film myself, develop my own opinion, and get that back to y'all when I give my full Redskins draft class grade. So far, just judging the first 4 picks and getting Thaddeus Moss, an undrafted free agent, my grade is at least going to be an A-, but I got to see what they did with those last 4 picks and those other undrafted free agent signings. But we'll see though. But I appreciate the support. Please like the video if you liked it. If you learned anything, please subscribe if you haven't. Please hit that bell next to the subscription button so you can get every notification every time I'm doing something, whether it's a live stream, whether it's a video, film session. I'm planning on doing the Air Coryell offense video after I'm done with all of this draft stuff. Just so much content coming out for y'all, man. Just stay tuned. And again, I appreciate the support. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.